멀리 지평선까지 이어지는 드넓은 초원. 특별할 것 없어 보이지만 영국인들은 이보다 아름다운 풍경은 없다고 말합니다. 그래서일까요? 나무로, 숲으로 자꾸 시선이 주변을 향합니다. 중년 남성도 동심으로 되돌려 놓는 작은 숲. 이끼 낀 나무들 사이로 비밀의 숲이 나타날 것 같습니다. 넓은 초원 곳곳에 자리한 작은 숲들. 그 속에는 저마다의 인생 정원이 숨겨져 있습니다. 오늘 영국 날씨는 맑음입니다. 런던에서 남서쪽으로 4시간을 달려 도착한 이곳. 토트네스는 영국에서 아름다운 지역 중 하나로 알려져 있습니다. 눈앞에 펼쳐지는 목초지와 숲들. 시간이 느리게 흐릅니다. 이곳에 특별한 목적을 공유하는 사람들이 모여 살아가는 마을이 있습니다. 세상의 속도가 자신들과는 맞지 않는다고 느낀 사람들이 조금은 다르게 결심하고 느린 삶을 살아가는 곳이죠. 마을에 들어서면 개성 있는 집들이 눈에 띕니다. 이 집들의 공통점은 50제곱미터, 15평 미만의 작은 집이라는 겁니다. 올해 26살인 이 청년들은 여기에 정착할 생각입니다. 화려한 도시의 삶을 좋아할 나이인데 법대를 졸업하고 변호사의 길 대신 자연을 선택한 것이죠.
We want the roof, which is going to be tin, so we can nicely put solar panels on it. We want to have that done by around October time again, and then from there, then we can just work on the inside and really do the inner workings of it. So when we will actually move in will be hopefully sometime next year, but the deadline that we want is before the next winter, is to have it so it's waterproof.
작년 9월부터 시작한 이 집은 내년까지 꼬박 2년을 지을 계획입니다. 독학으로 익혀 천천히 여유롭게 짓는 집. 앞날이 유망한 영국의 청년들이 이렇게 느린 세계, 느린 삶을 선택한 이유가 궁금해집니다.
Always been interested in permaculture and off-grid living. I mean, it's the kind of life that we've chosen to live, and because it's where our passions are, and it's the way we feel more people should be able to live. We're learning as we go, but so is everybody here.
덤불숲을 지나 마을로 향하는 길은 다른 세계로 들어가는 기분입니다. 풍경 속에서 흙집이 눈에 띕니다.
Hi.
Good day.
Do you live here?
Yes, I do.
Oh, right. You are the owner of the house.
Yes, I am.
So what are you doing up there?
I am just cleaning out my chimney, getting rid of all the soot, the tar build-up. Yes.
Wow.
집들이 옹기종기 모여있는 마을을 자세히 들여다보면 잔디 지붕으로 덮인 집 한 채가 바로 랜디의 집입니다.
So the idea is for this to be invisible when you fly over it, really, so it blends in.
There you go. So Google cannot get you.
That's right.
Right, there you go. All right.
Yeah. Try and make as little a footprint and impact as possible. That's what
Yeah, I think I'm going to go up.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up. Yeah, just
Well.
be careful.
All right, I'll be careful.
Take it slow.
Yeah, I'll take it slow. You know, I'm not very athletic, so I know who I am.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going slowly.
That's all right.
Can I hold this?
Yes, you can.
All right. Very slowly.
Yeah, there's a bit of a dip there.
Oh, okay,
so
for the
if you
gutter.
step here,
That's
yes.
a gutter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know? Oh. Oh, I can't really see. Oh, do I see a bit of it? There's a lot of light coming in.
Yes, there's a lot of light coming in. Even in the winter, we don't really need to put the lights on because the sunlight comes through there.
이런 흙집 낯설지 않습니다. 한국의 중년 남자들. 시골에 이런 흙집 짓고 아궁이에 불을 떼는 아재들의 로망이죠. 저도 그렇습니다.
See, it looks like you have a annex.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was just me and my wife and my little baby started out, and then as the family grew, the house extended. Yeah.
So it grew.
Yes.
All right. This is a growing house. Wow, this is great. So this is basically a big one studio.
Yes. Yeah.
There's kitchen here.
둥글게 이어지는 벽을 따라
You have
온 가족이 모여
dining table,
살아가는 공간.
fireplace.
The heart of the house.
living
마치
room.
몽골의 게르를 본따 영국에서 흙으로 천막을 친 것 같은 느낌입니다.
It's just such an amazing part of this thing. It's like the amount of light that comes in through the roof. It's just
Yeah, I think
vibrant.
독특한 지붕은 떡갈나무로 틀을 만들고 방수천을 사용했습니다. 벽은 나무로 뼈대를 세우고 집과 흙을 섞어서 만들었습니다.
Inside in the winter, we can put the fire on and it heats up. It takes a fairly long time to heat up,
Yes.
but it sucks all that heat and it holds it there. If the fire goes out, that heat is still stored in there. The thermal mass is still there, and it slowly brings it back into the house.
It's a spiral, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a spiral removing that.
Yeah. Recapitulation.
Reciprocating.
Reciprocating.
Yeah, so
Reciprocating.
everyone supports the next one.
Reciprocating.
Everyone supports the next one.
둥근 지붕이 자연의 빛을 받아들이는 이 집. 모두 주변에서 손수 구한 친환경 재료로 만든 것입니다.
벽도 마감이 단열재가 따로 없어요. 다 나무하고 흙으로만 돼 있는 거야. 근데 사실 그런 것들이 단열 효과가 좋거든요. 그러니까 거의 100% 그냥 다 자연재료만 이루어진 집 드물죠.
하늘 아래 잔디 지붕을 얹은 아담한 흙집. 랜디는 이 숲 속에서의 삶을 오롯이 어린아이들을 위해 오래 고민하고 용기를 내어 선택했습니다.
Can I catch you?
I got you.
Yeah, you got me.
I want to go on your back.
What?
Yeah.
No, I thought you were going down without me. No. Come on then, up. You ready? Steady.
이 작은 숲 곳곳에 아이들의 놀이터가 숨어 있습니다.
Where is the one? Oh, Dad! Dad!
Yeah. Yay! Well, I think Roots, he's 8, coming up to 9. I think he'll remember this very fondly, the sense of freedom to be able to just be and just explore and express himself with too much restrictions. Aishai, I think he might have fond memories of just being in the woods with his family, but yeah, Yeah, I think it would make them stronger, more independent people. Yeah.
아이들에게 자연을 느끼게 해주고 싶은 이유는 자신의 경험 때문입니다.
You're really high up.
랜디는 유엔에서 근무하는 부모님을 따라 서아프리카의 시골과 자연에서 어린 시절을 보냈습니다.
And I came over to the UK for university and I studied civil engineer in London. And whilst I was living in London, I started to really miss the natural world, like being outside. Even though it was really difficult and a bit scary trying to come from the city to become living on the land, I knew inside of me that there was something that I had to do for the future, for my children. So that helped me to keep going with it. Yeah. Yeah, if you open the shed.
랜디는 아이들의 미래를 위해 건강한 농업에도 관심이 많습니다.
Do you know where the fork is? There it is.
Yeah, it is. Where's that too?
There's two of them, yeah. So I'll give you that one if you want,
No,
with the handle.
no.
Yeah.
I want that one.
Which one? This one?
No.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Take that one. That's the cultivator.
랜디가 아샤이에게 해주는 것은 어린 시절 아버지에게 받았던 것들입니다.
Plants and seeds.
Yes. You know what seeds we're gonna plant?
Peas.
Peas. Yummy peas. Can you show them the seeds?
씨앗을 가지고 정원으로 향합니다. 여기는 채소를 가꾸는 텃밭 정원입니다.
But look, he digs underground.
No, he does like to go underground.
이 작은 모종판이 아샤이에게는 세상에서 가장 근사한 정원이죠.
Are you going to go?
아샤이는 씨앗을 놓으면서 더 많은 것을 상상할지도 모릅니다. 어린 완두콩이 제크와 콩나무처럼 거대하게 자라 세계 모든 아이들과 함께 맛있게 먹는 모습을 말이죠.
This is the greenhouse, so I use it as a propagator. Keeps it nice and warm, so they grow a bit quicker.
며칠 후 완두콩은 각자의 속도에 맞춰 싹을 틔우겠죠. 이곳에서 아샤이도 자신의 속도로 성장합니다.
You gonna go up? Go on. Let's go up.
이 커다란 나무 한
You gonna go
그루는
first?
아샤이가 가장 좋아하는 장소입니다.
Yes.
Can you come up?
I am coming up. Yeah.
Dad,
Yes.
go.
I'm coming up. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a very wobbly ladder.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want it. That's why I didn't want to climb up here. Then it's too wobbly.
I think you definitely wanted to climb up. Go on, I'm behind you.
No, I didn't.
Yes. Keep going. Go into that little bit there. Good job.
커다란 나무 위 랜디가 아샤이에게 보여주고 싶은 세계가 있습니다.
Okay. You want to stand on that one there? What about that bird? See if you can see a bird in that tree. Is it? What kind of bird is that, you think?
I can see it from over here.
Can you not see it from up here?
Actually, I can.
Yeah. What kind of bird is it?
I can see a red chest.
Red
I
chest.
can see an orange chest on it.
Uh-huh.
And everything else is grey.
Oh, right.
랜디는 숲속에서 새를 함께 관찰하고 농사를 함께 짓는 것이 아샤이를 자연스럽게 키우는 방법이라고 생각합니다. 아샤이는 자연을 바라보는 법을 배웁니다.
Because they learn all about the plants and about the trees, and that all life is quite precious and worth cherishing. They don't take it for granted, so everything has I think the thing that they learn from being here and being in nature is that everything has value. Every life is precious and valuable, and you shouldn't take it for granted.
넓은 풍경 속 작은 숲. 랜디와 같은 생각을 하는 사람들의 정원이 있습니다. 그곳에서 느슨하지만 신뢰관계를 맺으며 살아가죠.
I am going to visit my neighbor Paul. I'm just going to give him some eggs. Whenever we have extra, we share. It's very fresh eggs, very fresh. Laid within the last 2 days. Yeah, brought you some eggs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, thank you, Randy.
Chickens are laying again.
Excellent.
랜디가 여기로 온 지 8년째.
They stop for a while.
폴 부부는 랜디가 정착하기까지 농사와 집 짓는 일에 도움을 줬습니다.
Get lost. Just rabbit holes everywhere.
Well, I'm going to update the Lumia guidelines about rabbit holes.
Yes, please. And then, oops. I keep the green ones in there.
Once they cut, they're small.
함께 식사를 준비하는 폴은 가정적인 남자로 변했습니다. 런던에서 까칠하고 예민했던 성격이 천천히 무뎌졌다고 합니다.
I'm partially trained.
Oh, yes, partially trained. Many years of training. Many years of training.
It's been hard
Done the
work
trick.
for you, hasn't it?
Hard work. I had to lower my standards, but yes. No, he's very good. He's very, very good. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
이곳으로 오기 전 작곡가로 일했던 폴은 런던에서 작품 활동을 하면서 긴장과 압박감에 눌려 생활하다가 어느 순간 그만두고 떠나야겠다는 결심을 했습니다.
I was not wanting to go out all the time, and the energy of London was actually quite tiring, and that whole fast pace was actually wearing me out a little bit. And yeah, and there's a certain sadness about London. Everyone's a bit desperate and a bit anxious and a bit uptight all the time, and everyone's running for the next thing and crowding their way into this and running after that. And it
항상 자신의 정원을 꿈꾸던 폴은 이곳으로 왔습니다. 압축된 볏집을 쌓아 올리고 나무로 지붕을 만들어 친환경 집을 지었죠. 주변의 자연 재료로 집을 짓는 것. 폴이 집을 지을 때 정한 원칙이었습니다.
Also looking at the end use as well, our house is pretty much compostable. Like the bales will rot down in the end, and the wood will rot down in the end, and there's a wooden roof on in it that will rot down in the end. The walls are lime coated, and the lime is just a naturally occurring rock in the end. So there's nothing in the house. Once we leave, there'll be no waste, hopefully, from the house.
자연 친화적으로 완성한 집. 우리가 자연스럽게 사용하는 것들이 보이지 않습니다. 벽에는 전기 콘센트가 없고 주방에는 흔한 냉장고도 없습니다. 폴 가족이 살아가는 방식입니다. 현대사회와 정반대의 방식으로 살아가는 일상. 물은 빗물을 모으거나 지하수를 이용해 필요한 만큼만 사용합니다.
Can you see in here? Wow. Straw. Well, this is an old technique where you line it all with straw because it keeps the heat inside. So it cooks a slow cooker. It's off-grid slow cooker with no electricity.
밖에서 2시간 정도 일을 하고 오면 요리가 완성돼 있을 겁니다. 현대식 주방이라면 30분도 채 걸리지 않았을 텐데 이곳의 시간은 한없이 느리게 흐릅니다. 오븐에서 살짝 끓인 뒤 소쿠리에 넣어 뜸들인 밥이 맛있게 보입니다.
So good. Nice.
식사를 준비한 지 한참 만에 늦은 점심을 먹는 부부. 텃밭 정원에서 재배한 허브와 꽃들을 얹으면 건강한 한 끼가 완성됩니다.
Yeah, very nice food.
에너지 사용을 최소화하고 느린 삶을 살아가는 부부의 식사 시간이 건강하고 여유로워 보입니다. 식사를 마친 후 부부는 텃밭 정원으로 나왔습니다. 채소를 심으며 자연을 몸으로 느낍니다. 런던의 속도에 지친 부부가 바랐던 것들이죠.
I tried my hardest, even living in London, living a slower pace, you know. And where we used to live, there was a big nature reserve, and we often went to the nature reserve. It's in front of my doorstep, you know. Nature is right in front of my doorstep.
You dig it a little bit deeper.
여기에서는 모든 일이 천천히 흘러갑니다. 필요한 대부분의 작물은 텃밭에서 재배합니다. 완벽하진 않지만 가능한 모든 것을 자급자족하면서 살아가려 합니다. 주방에서 나온 쓰레기가 퇴비가 되기까지 몇 주, 몇 개월 기다렸다가 사용합니다.
We'll dig around the plant and find the first few potatoes and leave the plant to grow, and then as we need them we'll dig a few more out. So that might be a few weeks that we're harvesting. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a month. The supermarket of the earth.
슈퍼마켓이나 시장에서 다른 누군가가 재배한 채소를 간편하게 구입할 수 있는 요즘. 부부는 시간과 정성을 들여서 기른 농작물을 먹습니다. 꽃을 키우고 작물을 키우는 것은 정원에서 누리는 기쁨 중 하나입니다. 정원을 거닐 때가 가장 편안하다는 미아이 엘라. 자연과 깊게 연결된다는 즐거움, 그리고 직접 식재료를 재배한다는 뿌듯함도 있습니다.
These ones that I'm gathering at the moment is primrose, and it's one of the first flowers that come out after the winter. So I use it, you know, to make either flower essence or make it, these ones I will make into a tea.
정원을 한 바퀴 돌자 미아의 엘라의 바구니가 허브로 가득 찼습니다.
And you know, there's some of the plants that I grow here. Some of the that are put here, they're cultivated, and then some of them are the wild plants that came by themselves in here. So it's a mixture between, wild and cultivated. It's a little bit mixture of gardening and leaving nature be. It's like a dance.
하루가 끝날 무렵 의식처럼 차를 내려 마신다는 두 사람. 고양이도 행복하고 평온한 시간을 즐깁니다. 두 사람이 함께하는 정원에 행복한 시간이 흐릅니다. 낯선 풍경에 이끌려 찾아온 이곳. 여기에서 만난 영국의 정원은 우리가 생각했던 정원과 달랐습니다.
그래서 한국에서 정원하면 시각적인 게 되게 큰 것 같아요. 바라보는 곳, 바라보는 정원, 즐기는 것. 그 풍경을 보고 잘 가꿔진 그것을 보고 즐기는 쪽으로 갔는데 여기서 정원은 다층적인 것 같아요. 그러니까 실용적인 정원. 그냥 산과 연결되어 있는 자연스럽게 연결되어 있는 정원. 뭐 내가 특별하게 아름답게 가꾸지 않았지만 나랑 함께하는 가족과 같은 정원? 뭐 그런 느낌을 받았어요. 가족과 같은 정원.
넓은 초원 위로 빛이 쏟아지며 찬란한 녹색 세상이 펼쳐집니다. 그 풍경 속에서 또 다른 인생 정원을 만났습니다. 런던에서라면 도시가 내뱉는 소음이 끊이지 않았을 풍경. 한참을 가도 새소리만 들릴 뿐 고요가 반깁니다. 아침 햇살이 정원을 평화롭게 가득 채웁니다.
It's my morning inspection. I like to see what's growing and what tasks I've got to do during the day. So I sort of pick out different things I need to work on. But yeah, every day is different. Weather's different every day. But yeah, my day begins with a walk around the garden.
부지런한 발소리가 밤새 고요했던 정원을 깨웁니다.
What I'm doing is I've dug up a nice clump of this geranium phyme, and I'm replanting it in a little bare patch. So I'm filling in the gaps. So anywhere where I can see a spare bit of room that needs a plant, that's where I plant it. So here we are, that's it. It just pops in the hole like that, fill around it, and that's it. So the soil is perfect, lovely and moist, and I'll water that in, and that'll be it. To a place in the garden where I think it will look better, which I think will be here. So here we are. Push that back in around there.
정원에서 일하다 보면 금세 녹초가 되지만 기분은 새롭습니다.
It is physically demanding, and it does mean that occasionally you go outside and you get cold and you get wet. But that's part of the process of gardening. And some people just don't want to do that. They just want an instant garden. They'll get a designer in, they'll get gardeners in, they'll have a maintenance team to come in and look after it. Well, that's fine, but I wanted a lifestyle, and that lifestyle revolved around gardening, which is a process. Gardening's a process.
테리는 여름이 찾아오는 즈음의 정원을 좋아합니다. 식물이 성장하는 힘이 가장 강하고 심을 것도 많기 때문입니다. 하고 싶은 일을 할 수 있는 여유. 그것만으로도 충분히 좋습니다.
They're just fun, you know. They're just creating interesting shapes, and I think people find them. Well, I get asked a lot of questions. I get asked, what are the lollipops? And I just go around and I just trim them when they need trimming, but basically they're just for fun.
정원이라는 공간에서 식물들이 주는 만족감, 고요함이 주는 안정감. 테리가 정원을 가꾸기 시작한 이유입니다. 테리는 평생을 광고계에 몸담았습니다. 경제적으로 여유는 있었지만 항상 일정에 쫓겨야 했고 긴장과 스트레스의 압박감을 느꼈습니다. 지치고 나이 든 테리의 마음을 어루만진 것은 흙 묻은 손이었습니다.
It's almost like a checklist, isn't it? It's almost like you tick, oh yes, I've got a Rolex watch, well that's, I've got that, I've got a nice car, I've got a Mercedes, and slowly you go up. But actually, they are material things that they a new car is only a new car for, the first day that it's new, and then it becomes second-hand and used. There's more to life than material things. And they thought I was crazy. I mean, I think people thought I was having some kind of nervous breakdown or some kind of, sort of stress. But to me, it was a natural journey. Within 5-10 minutes of being in the garden, I'm in the zone, and suddenly that stress has just evaporated. So it was very much going back to a time in my life that was simpler, more connected with the seasons and nature. And it was great. It was something which I have never regretted.
정원을 가꾸다 보면 어수선했던 생각들이 어느 순간 사라지고 마음이 가라앉습니다. 정원을 가꾸기로 결심한 테리는 버려진 황무지를 구입했고 상상력을 펼쳤습니다. 마치 그림을 그리듯 황폐한 땅을 개간하여 그 위에 정원을 설계했습니다.
And so although it looked great in the first year, like an impressionist painting, like a French artist had created it, in year 2, it was just a disaster. Weeds had come up, nettles and docks and cow parsley, and it was a disaster. And so we realised then that we needed to look more closely at how you create a garden and what works. And that started me on the passion that I have today of creating gardens.
집 벽면을 캔버스 삼아 배치한 정원. 밋밋했던 풍경은 전혀 다른 표정으로 다가왔습니다. 그렇게 정원은 일상이 됐습니다.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You must be Terry.
I am.
My name is Moon.
Hello, Moon. Good to see you.
I'm from Korea.
Okay.
And I'm an architect.
Well,
And you know, I've come all the way from Korea to see your beautiful garden.
let me show
It's
you around.
famous.
Come with me.
테리의 정원은 독특한 구도를 가지고 있습니다.
So this is the formal end of the garden, and the garden goes right the way through using the longest line of sight, which dissects the diagonal through to the orchard room, which we'll walk to in a moment. But the key thing about the garden is to try and bring the landscape in. So it's what we call borrowed landscape. So
from over
you've got,
there?
yeah, so you've got the
Okay.
hills and the fields. So the garden feels placed. These arches, which are just rusted metal,
Yes.
what we have here is clematis, and it has the most beautiful buds. And by midsummer, by July, all of these arches will be covered.
테리의 정원은 계절이 바뀔 때마다 다양한 꽃들로 가득합니다.
Right the way through until autumn.
So you said something about progression, right?
Yeah.
Colors
Yeah.
changing and seasonal.
Successional planting.
Oh, successional.
So
That's
you,
right.
there's
That's
a
right.
succession. One
Okay.
plant takes over from another when one dies. But
Okay.
plants don't live forever.
Okay.
They have a natural lifespan like we do. Now these bluebells, and as you can see, they're the shape of a
Oh,
bell.
yeah, they look like a bell, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
look at that. Okay.
But these have real meaning to me because
Yeah.
my mother died. She passed away a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and these were in her garden.
Okay.
So I dug them up and I replanted them here.
From
So-
your mom's garden.
From my dear deceased mother's garden,
Okay.
and they have real meaning to me because now whenever I see them bloom at this time of year, I always think of my mother. She was 94, so
어머니가 돌아가신 이듬해
I might stay around.
겨울이 끝나고 블루벨이 피었을 때 테리도 이별의 아픔에서 회복할 수 있었습니다.
And I've dated this to 250 years old.
250 years old.
250 years old.
봄이 지나고 여름이 찾아오면 너도 밤나무는 넓은 품으로 휴식처를 내어줍니다.
No, some people actually think.
테리는 매일 정원에서 자유롭게 주변을 둘러보고 식물들의 변화, 성장을 살피는 일상을 즐깁니다.
Well, most people don't realise there are 4 seasons. Most people think that it's just one long process, and some days are warm, and some days are cold, and some days are rainy, and some days are sunny. When you're a gardener, you notice every single day. So the great joy I have, the gift I have, is being able to feel the seasons, to be in the seasons and see them change. And very beautiful it is too. I'm very lucky, very lucky.
정원의 모든 것이 의미가 됩니다. 세상의 많은 위인들이 정원을 가꾸는 삶에 빠져든 것도 비슷한 이유가 아닐까 추측해 봅니다. 정원 가꾸기는 대화하는 것과 같습니다. 내가 하는 만큼 자연이 하고 내가 응답하면 자연도 다시 응답합니다. 이 반복되는 주고받음 속에는 느리지만 계속 이어지는 대화가 있습니다. 그 대화에 감사함을 느낍니다.
They look very different. They look very different indeed. And but you know, there's a certain thrill of putting your hands in the soil. You know, it's very difficult to describe, but being able to just put your hands into warm soil, and just to, you know, to put a plant in the ground, and knowing that it will grow, and knowing that it's going to be very beautiful, it's a thrill. But many of my old friends and people I used to work with will look at my hands with utter disgust and disdain and think, what on earth?
I need a bit of experience.
So you want to do some
바쁘게 사는 도시 남자가 정원을 가꾸기에는 좀처럼 없었을 겁니다.
Well, I've got some lettuce here.
Okay.
Dig a
All
hole
right.
and you put the lettuce in.
All right. Okay. All right.
And then yeah, that's okay. Lovely rich soil. Got a bit of a worm in there.
Okay. Then
So you just knock it out the pot.
put it
No,
like
no,
that?
no, no. You take it out the pot. I'll show you.
All right.
You just. There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Like that.
Okay. That's how you do it. All right.
Okay. And then gently just pop it in the hole.
Oh,
It's nice
so you
and wet.
You just put it in like
Just
this.
put it in like that,
Oh, okay.
and then you just fill in around it.
This will grow, right?
It will grow,
I hope it
and it will
grows.
be very tasty.
I've never. This is my first time I've ever planted vegetable in my life.
There you go.
At least I can make my own food. 여기서는 아주 작은 것, 아주 작은 변화들을 느끼고 행복을 느낄 수 있는 그런 것들이 여기 가득 차 있는 것 같아요.
정원을 가꾼다는 게 어떤 것인지 궁금했습니다. 활짝 핀 꽃을 바라보는 설렘과 꽃들 사이를 거닐며 보내는 평화로운 시간. 정원은 가꾸는 만큼 돌려줍니다. 이른 아침 또는 해질 무렵 잘 가꿔진 정원을 바라보는 것만큼 행복한 일이 없을 것 같습니다.
I am very motivated. I'm very stimulated by beauty. I like beauty. I appreciate beauty. I appreciate it in the natural world, in the countryside, and what's around me. But the key thing is, you have to notice it. You have to look at it and think, that's nice, that's beautiful. And then I want to create beauty. And the rewards are having a garden that satisfies you and makes you happy.
정원을 가꿔볼 생각을 하지 못했는데 생각이 달라졌습니다. 저도 정원을 가꾼다면 허브를 심어보고 싶지만 일단 아샤이의 완두콩, 테리의 상추부터 시작해야겠습니다.